Welcome to the video tutorial for the third or fourth probability lesson. I'm not sure if you should do this one before or after the Pepsi Challenge. I don't think it really matters. Probably after, because the Pepsi Challenge does follow on nicely from the what are the chances of that to explore theoretical versus experimental probability and increasing the sample size. This lesson is called 3 Dice, and it starts, I've seen people start this lesson with horse race activity where they're betting on horses. This one starts with the image of a fair, a summer fair, where the children come up with a game where people can win prizes and they throw 3 dice. So they throw 3 dice and you pick a number and you get a prize if your number comes up. And the scenario is, I think this might be a good thing for us to do. We're going to try the lesson and see if you think it would be a good thing to do as a fundraising activity, a bit like a tombola or a 100 club type thing. So the whole scenario of the lesson is you coming up with an idea of raising money, a game to play that people can give donations and win prizes. But you want to explore the maths to see if they think it's a really good idea. And that would be interesting to come to revisit that at the end. So it is an exploration of combinations and permutations, and you can go quite far with it. So I think there's a lot here that you could explore and go really into experimental probability versus theoretical probability and how the combinations and permutations feed into that, because you're dealing with quite complex events. Because I know I have 2 bank accounts, and the first account for HSBC has a 6-digit passcode when I put my little pin pad in. The one for the Co-op Bank has a 10-digit code. Why is that more secure? Which bank is more secure and why? So that's a bridging activity you can do to follow on, looking at combinations and permutations, the chances of getting 6 numbers in a row, the chances of getting 10 numbers in a row. So it's always worth bearing in mind where you're going to go with the maths in these lessons, either with older pupils to make them think about the stuff they need to think about for the exam that's coming up, but also for younger pupils to sow the seeds for what's coming in a way that's engaging and motivating and they reflect upon it. And I think that's an interesting aspect of maths. We're preparing them now for what's coming in year 10 and year 11. And if we just don't give them any exposure to it in preparation, I think they really struggle and they just react to maths in a very negative emotional way. So again, as I've said in many of these videos, read the notes and just see what maths you want your pupils to be exposed to, but also where you could go with it. And I think those are interesting decisions. You're in charge of the maths that your pupils think about. And so how do you want this lesson to develop? Which bits do you want to focus on? Which are the key points to stop and pause and reflect and let the children share their thinking? You've seen in previous ones where we looked at the numbers on the board. That is very, very positive for the pupils to look at the numbers on the board and make sense of that. Okay, so in practical terms, the lesson progresses like this. You've introduced the scenario of, would this be a good activity to play at a fair to raise money? So I would get the pupils to pick 4 numbers, write 4 numbers down. Don't tell them anything about the fact that you can't get 1 and 2 with 3 dice. It's impossible. It's between 3 and 18. Don't say anything about that. And just roll the dice. And so they say, oh, these are my lucky numbers. How do you pick your numbers? Roll the dice and do it like a game where the pupils have 4 numbers and the first one to get their 4 numbers gets a prize. So you roll the dice and say, oh, 3. Roll the dice again. 10. Oh, 6. 9. Roll the dice again. Roll the dice. 11. Roll the dice again. Roll 14. Oh, bingo. Oh, Sylvia, you've got it. Are you lucky? Oh, Sylvia, you're the lucky one. And you can have a prize. By now, their interest will be piqued and they'll be really thinking about the numbers. And so you then move into a formal exploration and data collection. So the pupils get a sheet, something like this, so there's numbers 3 to 18 are all down the side. What they do is they throw the dice 25 times and do a tally of the numbers they get. Once they've done a tally of 25, they look at other people's results, they stop and they think and they share what they think's going on, what patterns are emerging. Then they do it 50 times. And while they're doing that, I'm going round and getting a class average. And what's interesting is the pattern starts emerging. And what you end up with, and I'm not going to fill them all in, but what you end up with is you end up with the pattern that does that. And the question is why? The children have to articulate and explain and justify and reason why you get this pattern. They'll say the middle numbers are more common. And this is a chance where they can go from pairs to fours, we're managing the groups and the feedback, so it's a lovely opportunity for discussion here. So you say, okay, why have we got this pattern? What's going on? What's causing this? 5 minutes in your groups, we're going to get some feedback. So every group would be given a chance to speak and to share their ideas. Then you stop and you can say, okay, whose idea do you think is most helpful? It isn't about you giving the answer, it's about them listening to their peers and deciding who's given enough of an insight that they can move forward. Some will say things like, well, there's only one way of getting 3. 1, 1, 1. There's only one way of getting 18. This is funny, 6, 6, 6. You say, oh, what's going on? How many ways are they getting 12 and 11? They'll say, well, you could have 4, 4, 4. You could have 6, 2, 4. Oh, there's loads of ways. And then the next part of the lesson emerges as to how many different ways can we get those. With some groups, I give them 3 different coloured dice so they can focus on the combination, not just the combination, but the permutations. So we could have, and there's an illustration that you get to support lesson that shows you that. So the fact that 6, 2, 4 is different to 2, 6, 4 and vice versa. So actually you start to realise the enormity of the possibilities of getting this and why it's more common than that. And at some point in the lesson, issues will emerge that you would like to pick up on, whether it's the bank securities I mentioned before. But enjoy the lesson, allow the children to explore and articulate their understanding. It's lovely getting to reflect upon this pattern that's emerging when we add everyone's results together. From doing it the odd time here, who's lucky, to 25 to 50 times, to the whole class. And if every pair has done it 50 times, that's loads of data. So what's going on here? And it might be worth giving some pupils just 3 different coloured dice, just for them to realise that it's actually the order is different, not just the numbers that are different.